Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another episode of Hearthstone. We only have to get one victory between the Paladin and Warrior and the Shaman and Warlock, so that mostly means we're gonna be doing Shaman and Warrior today. I know it's not, doesn't sound like a lot, but I think it is gonna be quite a bit. Here we are. It's been a while since the last time I played Hearthstone. A few hours of me just being a bad boy and not recording. So definitely was playing a lot of this offline just to save time, because I think this is going to be pretty difficult even though I've got it up to here. And we are at the point where we are going to
I will fight with honor for Doomhammer.
We are about to get to, what am I trying to say? We're about to get to the grand tournament. Almost there. Unfortunately, I've also had a problem here. Overlay high. There we go. Hopefully that works and doesn't turn off the deck, Hearthstone deck tracker overlay for everybody. Just for me is giving me a problem where it's loading up right around here and right around here instead of way over here and way over there. I don't know what happened there, but it's a little annoying. Really gonna do me dirty like that? So starting tomorrow, there needs to be quite a bit of grand tournament work done. Hopefully, it would be nice if I could get up and if I just stay up till midnight and then right at 12:01 Central Time for some reason it would unlock, but that's not really what's gonna happen. I have observed in previous occasions when they do things like this, they always do it at about noon. So, no doubt, that's exactly what's gonna happen, is it will come out somewhere around noon Eastern Time, maybe Western Time. I think it's noon Eastern would probably be about when it comes out. And so I want to get several videos made. I could probably have made one today, but all I could do is make a short announcement video saying the grand tournament is coming out tomorrow and say just about what I said, and that's it. That I think it's coming out around noon. That would be a really short video, and it's might as well just speed it up, hoping to get quite a bit of views. That would be nice. Well, maybe I should have played this. Well, I could kill two of these guys to kill him, but I'll just let him, maybe he'll hit my face. Maybe he'll decide to just hit my face.
Engaging TC-130 into dislocator.
That kind of sucks. Although it is kind of good
cleanse
too.
the Sunwell.
If I could just get an owl, I think an owl would be kind of cool right about now. Well, we have this, and then we'll play this. So 5, 5 killed this guy. That leaves 1, 2. So I'll kill this guy. And then smash him in the face. And in return, I think we might win this. This is one of those, once you start recording, you start winning. Usually it's the exact opposite though. Once you start recording, you start losing.
Yes.
But generally speaking in Hearthstone, it's not as much to do with concentration as it is to do with just random players you're playing. Whoever you're playing depends on whoever you're gonna get. So this next turn I could
wonder.
basically do Bloodlust, and I think win. I don't think there's anything else I need to do. Particularly if he forgets to attack. Like he seems like he is doing. Or he attacks the wrong one, like he just did. Yeah, I've got this. Well, might hurt me. What can we do? This would give us 3 extra, so that would be 12. And I'm gonna do that. Oops. Should have played that first. So, killed this one. Killed this one. Hit this guy in the face. And then the turn. Well, I think Bloodlust might win this next turn. Of course, I was saying that about this turn, wasn't I? Although, for the grand tournament, I may very well just make enough videos to put them all out on the first day, and that's a good question. Should I put them all out on the as soon as they go? I think I should. I think I should just shove them out of the box as fast as possible. Try and ride that wave. If only I could get early access. Just move quickly for everything. I think my channel would probably benefit from that quite a lot. So you're talking 7, 10, plus another 12. I think I've got this. Let's do it. There we go, victory. This may be a short episode after all. Nice. We're gonna be at 5970 by the end of this episode, which is a pretty nice place to be. So we just need to play as a warrior. If we get desperate, we'll play as a paladin. It's a great thing that we are 1,000 up. Theoretically, we want to be at 3,500 gold for the next expansion, which will... There's a decent chance it will be a single player mission again. I don't know.
Victory or death.
Until they decide to stop doing that, which I'm not sure that they are ready to decide that. You can pretty much expect that they're going to do a deck expansion, like the Grand Tournament is, and then a single player expansion, and then another deck expansion. And hopefully they don't speed up that process. It would be kind of nice if they even slowed it down a little bit. they're gonna start running out of things to add. They're gonna start catching up to things like
Battle detected.
Magic the Gathering, which is gonna be weird in its own
Battle
situation. Magic the Gathering has decades at this point of history that it's building off of, so if Hearthstone catches up to that point or surpasses it, there will be so much complexity and randomness that it would be definitely a different thing. I don't know if it would be a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's probably there is a limit. We don't know what the limit is, or I don't know what the limit is, but there is definitely a limit to having too many cards, having it too complicated. If I'm playing every single game and I'm not recognizing any of the cards that the other player is playing, that is too much from that concept. If I have to sit here and go, well, what does this card do? What does this card do? What does this card do? Then they've gone way too far. There's a level of familiarity I have.
So many possibilities.
At this point, when I see a picture of a card, I generally already know what it's gonna do. I'm all for expansions, adding a few hundred cards every now and then. But if they added 1,000, like one day there's 1,000 new cards, this game would be totally unfamiliar to me. And it would feel like I would be starting over from scratch. Particularly if it's 1,000 new cards that are better than the cards I have been using. And eventually we will get to the point where the cards that are in the collection aren't worth anything. We're already very much at something like that, because there isn't there's a lot of classes that nobody plays and I wouldn't play. I would hate for that, the amount of cards that nobody plays and everybody has to grow and grow, and then you'd have thousands of cards in the collection but none of them were worth anything, and people would start just going, well, let's just turn them all into dust for the new cards. That is something that might happen, and I think you've gone too far at that point. If people are saying, well, I have every single classic card, but they're all worthless, so I'm gonna just always turn all the classic cards into dust. That's not where I want to go. I don't want to do that right now. I'm just gonna end the turn.
Why do you call? Why do you call?
Okay, we play this.
You might answer.
This. This. That more powered up. Nice. In the turn. So if he wants to attack, he has to attack this guy. I wish he could attack this guy.
I wonder.
Wonder away, you're about to lose. And I'm about to win, so this is going to be a really short episode. Good, that allows me some more free time to go record some other games. Here we go.
Everyone, get in here!
In the turn. Man, I didn't get to hit the face. If I'd been able to do 11 damage, that would have been nice.
Dingo! Yes!
Yes, life tap. Keep on life tapping.
May my ancestors
In the turn. So if he attacks me, which he probably will, I could attack him and take him out, but... Well, that didn't really work. In fact, this works pretty well to my favor. I could attack him. Summon a random demon. And gold for him too. Draw a card for each damaged character. Fine. Give a damaged character plus 3/3. Just end the turn. Come on, come on. Is this thing gonna play or not?
Who dares summon me? So.
He's got me down to 1. Come on, just let me lose.
Back to work.
Everyone, get in here!
Jeez, I'm gonna lose and just... I don't know why he's taking all his time.
Get in here!
Defeat... Just beat me. Finally. Let's try that again.
Garrosh versus Gul'dan.
I don't even know what to talk about. It's just...
Shall be mine. Victory or death.
It's getting late and I'm getting distracted. This is probably not the time to be recording, I would say. Something in my room has decided to make some weird tape rewinding noise that possibly might be something nasty, like a rodent, but that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. I used to live in a house that had a pool, and I think that severely increased the problem. And there was just mice that were able to come in through sliding glass doors that would get left open, and probably holes in the walls too, and a few times we had mice running around in the house, and boy did I not like that. Let's see. 1 damage. Draw a card for each damage. We'll do that. Draw a card in the turn. Fortunately, I think it was just my soda hissing. I was in several houses when I was younger that were infested with ants and roaches and all kinds of things that you don't want in a house. It's not fun. It is definitely not fun. It's not something you want. You want to try to be as clean and keep food out of reach and not drop it on the floors and stuff. Sadly, it's very difficult to have a house just completely insect free. Often they will have roaches even if you are doing your very best, but the roaches generally can be held back a little bit, so there isn't hundreds of them all over the place. The saying is, if you see a roach, the walls are literally full of them, and it's been forced out into the wild because there was just no more room, which is a pretty nasty thought, and it's probably not true, but they do get everywhere. I would love to build like a hermetically sealed house floating in the air so there's no insects and then no germs either. That would be nice, but it's just not the reality we live in, and we have to live with the reality of the real world. Draw a card for each damaged.
My shield for Argon!
Just keep hitting the face and we'll be done. I have somewhat decent hearing too, so I'll often hear noises that are little things that a lot of people can tune out who don't hear at all. It used to be very excellent hearing, but at my age I think it's more realistic to say I have somewhat decent hearing. There's some frequencies that I think I'm probably losing. Of course, there's a trick in that too. If you are listening to like a radio or something on your phone, like there's many phone apps that like test your hearing, and it says if you can hear this frequency, you're under this age, and all of that. Well, you also have to remember your phone speaker is probably not very good. So until you really go to an audiologist and test it, you're not getting a very valid test. It's very possible that certain frequencies and high frequencies on your phone just don't play. Just don't play at all. So you would have to have somebody younger there. And I once actually failed the hearing test, not because of being able to hear, but because they had stuck me on like one side of the room, and all I could do was hear this huge amount of noise in the room on the other side, and I'm like, I can't hear over all that noise, so my hearing was too good. So, protect your ears, protect your eyes, kids, is really the story. It will start fading, even if you do as much as you can. It probably will still fade as you get old, and you're gonna miss it when it's gone. like I said, or have said in the past, I wasn't really a fan of music, so I didn't listen to a lot of loud music, but often I would turn the music very loud. Was a very big fan of surround systems, and it's pretty easy when you have a 7.1 system to have the volume fill a room and be louder than it would even be if you were right next to a gunshot or something. Let's see. Maybe I should have attacked this first, but we'll see what happens here. Okay. I think that'll work. Dr. Boom here could attack me and kill me. Oh, man. That sucks. Looks like we're gonna have a little bit more time to record today. That's not what I meant to say. It looks like we're gonna have a little bit more game we're gonna have to play here. There he goes, Dr. Boom. One left. I'd still like to win right now. I'd prefer it. But I have no cards, and Dr. Boom can hit me. If he could do another 12 damage, he'd win right now. He has 10 cards to 13 cards. So I doubt he'd run out of cards and lose that way. We'll get him down to 8. If we could get him
Warrior,
get another 8 done.
your strength becomes your weakness.
I've got 2 spells from my class. Interesting. End the turn. He's down to 7 now. And he's got me. He's beating me down. I think that was a fair victory for this case. Where are we on our levels? Let's see. 35, 35, 49, 35, 35, 34, 36. Almost everything's at 35 except for this is 49, this is 60, and this is 60. So we're working on the priest. Or at least I was working on the priest when I was playing online. I don't know when I'm really going to have more time to work on it. I will want to get more gold, but I'm not sure I'm really going to play much offline to accomplish that. I probably should. It would be the intelligent thing to do. We're going to get the grand tournament, and I wouldn't be surprised if the next week they announced that a new adventure is coming out in 3 months. You know, I just realized as I was drinking liquid in the middle of recording, I've gotten pretty good about not doing that. Typically I will record for 30 minutes, and because I've gotten good about about not recording for too long. I've also gotten very good about the other. Let's do this.
Battle commencing.
End the turn. Could you have used that to give me another 2-1, but I don't think that's worth it. Let's see if I hit this and then play this. What if we do this and then
Battle
attack with
commencing.
this and play this
My ancestors watch.
and end the turn? Think that works?
For the War Chief!
Okay. If I play this,
My ancestors.
then this, then this. Works. Of course, why does he have 5 cards and I only have 1? Even though I do have 2 on the board. He's still at a 2-card advantage. That's really just goes to show my cards aren't valuable enough on their own. If every card I'm playing has to be summoned, then damaged once. Probably gonna get away from the enraged thought with the grand tournament. We should. There should be something better than to try at least. I don't have any damaged minions. I don't want to really balance anybody. So I'm just gonna end the turn here. This guy's name is Homeless Bum. Well, that's pretty sad. Of course, there's a lot of home full bums out there too. And I on occasion see the cartoon where the guy, there's a beggar on the street and it puts a bubble next to everybody's head and it says, this one's in $20,000 debt, this one in the suit is in $40,000 debt, this lady here has $5,000 in credit card debt, and then the homeless beggar guy, it says he has $2.17 to his name. And I was like, oh wow, so he's the richest person on this street, really. Which is a sad statement of the debt society that we've somehow
The gates
created this nightmare. I would be cool if loans were just illegal. It makes not a ton of sense, but I think I'd be cool with it if loans were just illegal. Like you couldn't get them at all. If you don't have the money, then
back to work.
Then too bad you can't get it. And yes, that would make a lot of people miserable and put a lot of people in a worse situation, but that's really one of the ways you could prove to people that they're not getting paid enough in their jobs, and have them start negotiating. It's like the tip system in America where the waiters and waitresses are getting paid $2 an hour, but don't worry, their tips are supposed to get that to get them the minimum wage, and wait a minute, no.
Done.
Why is this a question? Even if it's true, even if most waiters and waitresses get more than minimum wage with this, why is there a question? Jobs should be, at the very least, about security. And one of the security things that it should be about is the number of hours you are offered to work a week and the amount of pay you're going to get for those hours. Those things should not be just nebulously and random.
My shield for Argon.
Job's done.
And yet we've got a society where it very much can be. The worst waiter or waitress should be making minimum wage. The best waiter and waitress should be making more than minimum wage. That is the minimum standard we should establish. And the minimum wage should go up to the point where people could pay for things and not have to get loans. And inherently, some of that too is that the society needs to get away from its consumerism,
Job's done.
which maybe we will and maybe we won't. It's hard to see the future, but I don't see how things like cell phones are going to always be the fad. I think more and more people are going to say, I'm going to get one and it's going to last me 4 or 5 years, and that's just the expectation. Much like how a lot of people these days buy a computer or a laptop and then they have it for at least 5 years. Whereas in the old days you would buy a computer every 2 years maximum. And it doesn't really matter these days if you get a new computer, if you're not going to do something very intensive like gaming on it. You can get a pretty cheap one and live with it for many years. In fact, a lot of people are starting to realize they never needed one at all. We could go crazy. We could all hop aboard like the Oculus Rift train, and everybody's saying they need to spend $300 on an Oculus Rift, and then all of a sudden we need stronger phones so we can plug our Oculus Rift into the phone, which would be really, really expensive phones at that point to get that processing power down. But it's a little unlikely. They've been trying to do things like that with the whole 3D movies, and we're gonna play as a paladin and just see if we can get a victory here and be done with this. They were trying to do it with Blu-ray in a lot of ways, although I do feel like Blu-ray is an improvement over DVD in quality. I don't think many people are going to adapt it because I think more people are just saying they don't need to buy those things. Netflix has solved that problem. And Netflix was a cheap and easy solution.
I will fight with honor.
More and more I'd like to see people just say, we don't need things anymore. That we're satisfied with what we have. We don't need to buy the new gadgets. Which means we need to get away from a consumer economy and onto something else. Although I don't know if we need to be a services economy either. I think what we need to be is a lazy economy. Just straight up. That's one thing the United States has never been. and I think we should try it. It's just the laid-back style of economy where you can work or not work. You're fine either way, or you work for a little bit and you don't take way more vacations, to work way less hours. More and more as things get automated, that's what we have to go to. And then we could rethink what we're actually teaching in schools and colleges, and stop having education being focused around career paths that may or may not exist, and start having education be more focused around, I don't know, something else. Maybe just education for the general improvement and knowledge of society.
For justice!
Is that an acceptable reason to go become educated? I mean, it is really a sad statement when you think about it, that the only reason colleges exist is because people wanted smarter employees. Otherwise, it totally would be the Middle Ages where you're illiterate and not allowed to learn to read or anything like that.
I'll fix you.
This, attack, in return. Hopefully I win this game. That would be a little bit embarrassing if it didn't.
I see you.
Pretty bored with this game, as you might be able to tell.
For justice!
See, this kind of sucks because I've wasted the day and barely recorded 3 episodes, and I needed to do like 5 or 6. And I don't really want to stay up all night, maybe get a second wind of recording, and then be late on the grand tournament episodes I should record. Oh, and by the way, yes, grand tournament episodes will not have the Hearthstone deck tracker on. If it is on right now. I think it is, but maybe it isn't. Just in general, for general reasons, we'll be opening packs, we'll be looking at cards that we don't need it there. When we'll be making, rebuilding decks and things like that. Okay. Silence this minion. Power this guy up. And
for justice!
I could have killed this guy, darn it. So either one of these could kill this guy. I'm hoping he chooses not to do that, though. I don't know why he would choose not to do that. Three mana secret, what could it be?
Duty.
That's a really bad one to give to a mage. But maybe not. Mage is mostly offensive weapons, not. So I don't think he could really do that much with the dragon's kin. This will be interesting. Install that. Install that.
Reporting for
Job's
duty.
done.
Can we survive? If only I could have played this on this.
Someday I'll be just like you.
So that's 7 damage. I think I'm gonna lose again. When should I give up? You know, and I just realized too that if I had
Red alert.
not had that
Reporting for
mistake
duty.
with
To battle.
anti-chamber, I would have been done with it and had complete free time. Now I have to find some way to reschedule recording it, re-record it. It's not gonna be a big deal. I'm fine. But it would have been nice to start on a new game.
Well played.
Some of these games are not. Definitely, when I do series on them, they're not going for much more than a month, which I think is the right direction to go with it. If I can get a month, even if I can only get a couple weeks out of a series, I think that's fine. It's all about quantity right now. I try my best to improve quality, but
Watch.
I just also want quantity.
I will fight with
I
honor.
think maybe it's wrong, but I think that wiring, what am I saying? That having a big variety of things is the way to go. So more phrases to be searched, more series by different names, instead of just going with one quality episode of The Witcher 3.
Big punch.
Well, that's only the audience of The Witcher 3. Let's see. This. Attack this. And I'm not gonna use this or this, so I'm gonna end the turn. Play this, and then ideally put this. Okay. Play this. Turn. As long as he doesn't have a charge, it would be nice, because then I could play Avenge and power this guy up too.
Magic detected.
Let's see. This goes here. This goes here.
Reporting for duty.
Darn it.
Ha! This guy's toast.
Darn the luck. What terrible luck. There we go. What do I want to do? Let's put this up again
Job's done.
and in the turn.
What's the flight plan?
I am ready.
Give the sacrifice attacks. That should trigger Avenge, which powers this guy up. Which powers this guy up. 11, 12. One to the face. I think we've got it. I think we've got it. What's he gonna do? Darn it. Twice he's done that to me.
Ready.
Let's try this.
Justice.
Try this first. Just in case he wants to play Vanish one more
By
time.
the power of Ragnaros, I have the power!
So this
Power flows through.
My
This.
shield for Argus!
attack this in return. I think we've got it. He can't attack me here with this and this. He's desperately trying to beat somebody. He doesn't even know who.
Ha, this guy's toast.
Deadly poison. Blade Fury. Does he want to lose Emperor Thursien?
What's the flight plan?
Let me get that.
This,
Reporting for duty.
this, and in the turn.
Let me get that.
Guess I could have played that and gotten 2 cards. He's down to 10.
Get down!
I can get him down to 8 with these 2, and then the last 2 here.
Let me get that.
Okay, so we played this, and then this.
They came from behind!
And then this.
Report just
Attack
duty.
this. And I think we're gonna win this.
Let me get that.
How can he pull victory away from me? How could he win? He could put a big taunt guy up, or 2, or he can do 11 more damage. Four more damage.
Come close and listen.
Let me get that.
Not enough. Alright. So I couldn't silence anybody even if I wanted to. I could do this. I could
For
just
justice.
do this though. Great. Finally we get a victory. I think I was definitely right to only have 2 victories required before starting this recording. Maybe that's something I'll start doing always if we get to 3rd recordings, because yeah, that took forever. Anywho, that's it for this episode. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and to watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.